कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धे भवतु मे सदा वसुदेवं सुतं देवं तं स चाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं हरि ओम. We continue. Again, I request all participants, please turn on video feeds. We are now in the second adhyaya of the Gita. Can someone recollect?
In yesterday's session, Arjun was in grief. Then he asked Krishna, now guide me what to do. Then Krishna says him about not to do shok for those who are not worthy to shok.
Yeah. Those who are going to be dead ultimately, or those who are not worthy of shedding tears.
And it's not that I was present all the time. When these were not born, when these were not here, these all participants of the Yuddha. I was always there. You don't know, but I know.
Yeah. So he introduces the concept of existence which was there before, which is, and which will be. Yes, please. Anything else? Yes. Anybody?
Then in other shlokas, he describes the qualities of Pandita, like who is Pandit, who controls his senses. He gets control over his senses, and not pain, not in happiness, like Sthita Pragna.
Okay.
Who says Sthita
Worthy
Pragna?
of Amritas, that person, Somritatvaya Kalpate.
Amritatvaya.
Yeah, so that person can get that greatest, the one who is going to remain balanced in all these difficult moments. Absolutely.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, we had stopped at the 17th shloka, isn't it? We will continue from the 18th shloka of the second adhyaya. Is that right?
Yes.
All right, Ji. Fine. Let us continue. Here Krishna continues. Antavantam ime deha nityasyoktaha sharirinaha anashino aprameyasya tasmad yuddhasva bharata. So if you see, Tyaktotishta parantapa, uttishta parantapa. Now yuddhasva bharata. Krishna is trying to continuously remind Arjuna of his duty. But sometimes reminding duties is of no use to somebody who is not willing to listen, when their emotions are so important to that individual. Krishna knows that, but it is his duty, so he is now directing. We do not know if Arjuna will immediately accept and, okay, Krishna has told me to fight, so let me fight. Right now he is not receptive, but slowly Krishna is going to lead him in a language that Arjuna will understand. So let us see what he says. Antavanta ime deha. The entire worry of Arjuna was for the death, isn't it? This body, these people, my dearest ones are going to be dead. I'm all the Swajana Hatya, Guru Hatya, 100 names he may give, but it is entirely his worry about death. And that is what Krishna is trying to address. He says, this physical body is untrue and perishes. This has been known without doubt over the ages. It's proven mortality. Why do you question? Brace yourself to fight, O Bharat's son. Antavanta ime deha, meaning this deha, this physical body, will it be around after 100 years? None of us may be around in this physical body, but our spirits will continue. Just today I had a very beautiful interaction with a businessman who was from Israel. And he said they have the simple understanding that we were alive before Israel will live. That is what he was saying. Now, I am not trying to support in particular, I'm not entering into the political debate there, but I'm just talking about how they said attempts were made to extinguish us. So many of our Jews were killed. And yet, he says, yet we are here today. We survive. Bombs are thrown at us regularly, yet we are surviving because we know we will live. We, in the sense, a collective spirit. And I believe every single of one of us must understand that we are actually inheritors of a consciousness which will never die, even if the physical body perishes. Do not associate yourself only with the physical body that you right now understand. That is what Krishna is trying to tell him. In that light, we can say the body is untrue. Otherwise, in the Gita, elsewhere, Krishna talks about the importance of the physical body also. We do not neglect the physical body. Krishna very clearly in the Adhyaya on the Kshetrajna Vibhaga, the first shloka itself, he says, Idam Shariram Kaunteya, means his Sharira is to be looked after. But understand in the long run. And one more thing, if I retain the same body for say 800 years, it'll be quite boring, no? I don't know, already all my teeth would have fallen in. I'll be just, I don't know what I'll be doing. But it is something which Krishna is talking about. In that light, in the light of the highest truth, this physical body is something which is a perishable thing compared to a truth which does not perish. In that light, it is untrue. But we are not dismissing the role of the physical body, because if sadhana has to be done, a sadhan is required, and the physical body is the sadhan which will allow us to do the sadhana. So, sharira is important, but understand, Arjuna, don't get only obsessed that the truth is in the sharira only. Our senses may stop functioning, still our sharira goes on, our Atman is there. People who cannot see do not have life. They, of course, they have experiences. People who can't talk, don't they learn sign language? Don't they communicate to the world? Does it mean only mouth is required? Sometimes not communicating with the mouth is the best communication possible. Many people who get into trouble because of their tongue, they will be the best gurus for teaching us that. If I had just shut up, I would have been so safe. So this is the point Krishna is trying to say. And he says it's a proven mortality. Do we know anybody who never died in the history of mankind? Anybody? No. Arjuna, who is it who has not died? Everybody has died at different times. Yes, please. Chiranjeev is maybe somebody saying. Yeah? All right. That is our legend. We have to
We
meet
are
the
not
Chiranjeevi.
humans, na, but
They have transcended into a state. Maybe if that possibility is established, maybe if that possibility is established, we may too get into that state of consciousness. We do not know yet. As of now, we are not yet physically aware of such a thing. But since
maybe
timelines
they have
differ,
gotten some siddhis. They
yeah,
talk
yeah,
about
absolutely.
8 siddhis. They may have attained that level.
Maybe our legends talk about these, the Chiranjeevis. They are always there, and people have got experiences also. People have experienced. So anyway, let us come to the point that this timelines may fluctuate, and sometimes we will question even the timelines. Like, why on earth did Aurangzeb live for so many years and Chhatrapati Shivaji for so less years? What is the logic? Why did he have to go for with some disease? Or sometimes there are people who drink and smoke so heavily. They live very long lives, beating all expectations and odds. And there are some who never. One friend of mine would smoke so much that he was in such, and he had all the bad habits a person should not have. He had all of them. When I caught him after several years, after 10 years, the first question I was, how are you alive? Because that was his trajectory. He said, no, my wife brought me to correct direction. I have stopped and I am now changed. I am a motivator for youth. So it was a miracle. But the body, which is limited, compared to that, there is a highest truth, the truth of the Atman, which continues. This Atman is never going to perish. That is something Krishna is saying. And again, there is no breaking news that somebody died in a battle, for Arjuna at least. Any battle anybody fights, people are going to die. Death is new. It is not news. So why are you getting so worked up? That is what Krishna is asking him. He goes on further. Ya enam veti hantaram yaschainam manyate hatam ubhav kau na vijanito nayam hanti na hanyate.
Anyat.
Those who think that they kill the self, or those who think that the self is dead, are both in their ignorance only misled, as the self is neither the killer nor the killed. Can somebody tell me what does this imply?
This is like energy. It's never be destroyed. Just converts into one form to another form.
Yes, yes, yes. Those who think that I have destroyed the Atman, they are wrong. They might destroy somebody's physical body, somebody may break another person's limb, all these things may be done, but they cannot touch the Atman. If you see, when, for example, Mangal Pandey was hanged, isn't it? He was killed, but was the spirit inside of him killed? Did that
No.
spark not light a fire which then engulfed the nation? Like that, we are all inheriting a consciousness, which is something which is so special. We are there. Our ancestors, how many of them have sacrificed their lives so that today we can read Gita? We don't even know them. We may be knowing our family tree up to some number of years. We don't know about those sacrifices made by so many. But are they not alive? The fact that their aspiration of this text being available to us, for that they sacrificed their lives, and yet today we are again reconnecting to the same scripture which was already there. So this aspect of the spirit will never get lost. That is one thing Krishna is saying. You cannot kill the self. Politicians try to kill whistleblowers, isn't it?
Mm.
What happens then? Well, that whistleblower may have physically left, but the spirit of the whistleblower then enters into 100 whistleblowers. Then they don't blow whistles, they blow trumpets only. And that politician falls so badly, he wishes that he or she wishes that they were not alive only, because that is the truth. That is the Satya. So the self, the spirit cannot be killed, is what Krishna is saying. Let's go on further. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. Neither is the self born, nor is it killed. Neither is it created, nor will it ever be destroyed. The self is primeval and ancient and birthless, deathless, even when the physical body perishes. How clear Krishna is. Whether we accept it, we don't accept it, it is up to us. Arjuna will accept or not, we don't know. But this is a truth that is being kept in front of us. This physical self, that is only going to perish, but not the supreme divine self which is seated inside. It cannot be created, it cannot be destroyed. It is ancient. It is ancient, it is even timeless. Let us continue. If anybody has any query, you are most welcome to pause me anytime. Our aim is to study these verses to the best possible way we can. Veda vinashinam nityam ya enam ajam avyayam katham sa purushah partha kam ghateti antikam. The knowledge of the self that is ageless is that it is true, indestructible, and birthless. So again, who is the man? Who is the killer? And who is the man who is killed? He says this self is true. In comparison to the self, the Sharira is false. Because Sharira is going to change. Sharira is going to has its own physical limitations. Whereas this Atman, this concept of the Atman which Krishna has introduced, is limitless. Who is that who is the killer? And who is that who is killed? That is the question Krishna is asking. Then comes a very beautiful shloka. वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि Anyan sayati navani dehi. Just like old garments are discarded when shoddy, and thus for newer clothes they make way. The old physical bodies too are cast away by the self, which then acquires a new body. The simile which Krishna gives, it is very similar. It is similar to that of a garment that is worn by us. Today, all of us are wearing different clothes, isn't it? Do we wear the same clothes every day? No, we all have different clothes. Is that because we are heartless? Is that because we are cruel? Is that because we hate our clothes, we change them? It is not that, isn't it? It is a part. It's a part of life. Like that, in this creation, we have life and death together. This cycle is going on, and in this cycle of life and death, today I'll be wearing a cloth which may make me look like a clown. Next day I may wear a cloth that makes me look like a king. But again, whether I'm wearing that cloth and it does not determine what I am truly. I am something else. These are just clothes which keep changing. This is the truth. We go to malls and purchase new clothes. Just like that, the Atman is, this cloth has become old. I need to leave it. I will take another one. When I was very young, I had a favorite T-shirt. There were lots of photos of insects on it. I really liked it so much that I went to my friend's birthday party. I've worn the same thing. Every next day I went there also I was wearing, and somehow I didn't let go of it for not just months, for years. 1 year, 2 year, my mother would get irritated. First of all, there are insects, photos of insects on it. It doesn't look good at all, according to her. And here, this boy is not leaving it, and every time wearing the same thing. Finally, one day, what she did was she took a scissors and cut it because I am not willing to let it go. Well, it is something like that. The Atman will ultimately change. You do it, or you'll be forced to do it. It will change the Sharira. It has nothing, no specific attachment, no rejection. It is just a kriya of life. This mortal envelope is worn by the soul after the work is complete. In the factory, when we manufacture, we wear a coat. We wear the lab coat and we do our activities. But when we come out, we remove that, isn't it? It is just like that. When the duties are over, the soul changes the body. That is what Krishna is saying. And what is this soul? Yes, Shashiji is saying something. Yes, please.
Sorry, you finish what you're saying, then I'll ask
No,
my
I was going to the
question.
next shloka. Please ask. Yes.
Okay, so I just need to be clear. At
Hmm.
what point, at one point, we're saying higher consciousness and soul, self, they're one and the same, right?
Sorry, Ji, what?
Self,
Yeah.
that is soul and higher consciousness. Are they two
Yeah, in
different things,
English,
soul and
yes.
higher consciousness?
No, we have various degrees of consciousness, no, in every human beings, all of us. So we can call it, if
Okay.
you want to grade it, we will say when we are unaware, we are in the lowest state of consciousness. As we start becoming aware, we will become higher. But the highest state of consciousness is when you realize you are the soul. Swatma Ramoham, Svena Swasmin, Swayam Brahma, Sway Mahimni, Swanubhutam. The Anubhuti is mine, or Sichidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. A young Adi Shankaracharya had realized it. He had realized the highest consciousness that he himself is Shiva.
Right.
So that is the gradation. So English words we have to use for our understanding,
Yes.
but otherwise the Atman or the self. If
Okay.
you want to, there is something like in Sri Aurobindo's Yoga they talked about the Chaitya Purush or psychic being inside, which becomes conscious of itself or it expresses itself. That is the soul expression outwards. It's there in all.
Right. Okay. So,
Hmm.
as we go through life, I've
Hmm.
understood and that the soul is
Hmm.
not born and it never dies. That's fine. So, all the acts, good and bad, that we commit, the
Hmm.
soul is a witness,
Yeah.
and the consciousness inherits the good and the bad. Oh,
The
not
consciousness.
inherits it.
Okay.
The soul
So why are
witnesses
we
our
distinguishing?
acts.
Why are we see Chitta means consciousness.
Okay.
the who is having chitta? The Chaitya Purusha has the chitta, isn't it? Now,
Yes.
because when this is interesting, so far what Krishna has introduced, he has introduced the concept of a witness inside. Krishna has right now told that the soul is like a witness. So let us hold on to witness, because as we go in, Krishna will give in more details.
Oh,
As of now, let us understand that the soul, according to Krishna, is undying. It has certain properties which allow it to remain eternal in comparison
okay.
to a body. Right now, because this is a very interesting, it is a Vedantic discussion if you try to identify that, and it can go on for a very long time. Let us just,
Okay.
in light of the Gita, yes, there is something inside which is supremely conscious, but are we aware of it is the biggest question. Are we conscious of it? Maybe we are not. Our attempt would be to become conscious of it. That is what Krishna is trying to do, so that when we become conscious of it, we will not get so sad, or we will not get so disappointed with the fluctuations
Okay.
around us. Yes, see.
Okay. So
Yes, see.
I just wanted to ask then, which part of us
Yeah.
is holds the responsibility of all the acts
Huh.
that we go through life, good
The
and
outer
bad? Which
self,
part?
the outer self. We will come to that in the Gita as we go ahead.
Okay.
We'll become. Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
There's a, like, we can say there is a Jivatman, there is a Paramatman. Different schools say Jivatman is different from Paramatman. Some say Jivatman is the same as Paramatman. It is like one drop of water from the ocean has been removed and kept elsewhere in a test tube. Is that drop of water now separate from the ocean is the big question. Somebody will say yes if you say it is not in the ocean, so it's separate. But somebody else will say, hey, it is the ocean, though its volume is less. So we will just keep that in abeyance to let us see what Krishna tells further. He might give us some more inputs on this. But right now he's giving us the properties of the Atman. What is this
Okay.
Atman, or how is it? Eternal. Next shloka, we go to the 23rd one.
Thank you.
Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayantyapo, na shoshayati marutaha. He says, that which no weapon can decapitate, that which no inferno can incinerate, that which even the waters can wet not, and which the mighty winds can dry not. What is this? This is the Atman. No weapon. Take the sharpest blade and try to cut the Atman. You cannot cut the Atman with the strongest weapon. Maybe even a nuclear weapon will maybe destroy 100,000 bodies, but will not touch a single Atman, because the Atman cannot be destroyed. Same way, the fire cannot burn it. Even the water cannot wet it, nor can the mighty winds dry it. Let us see. We have really some doubts whether Arjuna is going to buy all of this. Right now, Krishna is giving Atma Gyan when he has to enter into a very physical battle where arrows are there because they are going to kill people, isn't it? And here he's saying nobody is going to die. We will have to see what Arjuna calls this. But let us see. Achedyoyam, adahyoyam, akledyo, shoshya evacha, nityah sarvagata sthanur, achaloyam sanatanaha. This Atman is only the Sanatan, which is Sanatan. It is eternal. What is Krishna saying? He says, the self indestructible and incombustible is immutable, imperishable, and insoluble. In its inertial stillness, it is omnipresent, ageless, and timeless. Everywhere it is present. It's ageless, it is timeless, it is everywhere. Now, this is really breaking our understanding of things. We know things which can be, I can be here, or I can be somewhere else. How can I be everywhere? Well, this is like how we say the quantum leap is required, isn't it? To jump from classical physics rules to quantum physics. It is as simple as that. This Atman concept, it cannot be understood by just logic. If we look at even the Vedantic texts, if we look at the Upanishads, Tadejati tannejati. Tad dure tadvantike. Tad antarasya tadvahyasya. This inside also, outside also. That is far also, is near also. Well, let us call it X. Let us not try to name X as something. Sri Aurobindo has also used the word X only in one place. So this X, the properties of X are like this. Let us understand there is something which is incombustible, insoluble, indestructible. It is omnipresent as well. We will just keep that in mind. As of now, we'll keep it in abeyance. What is this X? Let us see further. But you know what is the best way to understand X? It is to realize. A sudden realization can come if we aspire. It sudden in the sense it will come suddenly, unexpected to you when you become so calm, so quiet on the inside. It will come immediately. Just wait a bit. Yeah. Let's continue. Avyaktoyam achintyoyam avikaryoyam uchyate tasmadevam viditvaina nanushochitum arhasi. Why is he saying this? He says, the invisible self by the mind cannot be conceived. And about the blemishless self, thus is said and perceived. This is the knowledge of the self you must realize and see. Indeed, how pointless it is for you to lament or grieve. Krishna is saying, see, this invisible self you cannot understand just by your mind. You'll have to go to one stage higher than the mind. Is there any stage, my question, is there any stage higher than the mind? Anybody?
No.
Gayatri ji saying no. Anybody else?
Intellect.
Okay, Manisha ji is saying intellect. Some people may club intellect into the mind only and may say it does not. But there are moments, if has anybody got something which is beyond mental logic, experiences which cannot be explained by mental logic?
This is not something that you can intellectually understand. You've got to rise above it, and it's got to be felt.
Because mind is not trikalatita, no? Mind is not transcending past, present, future, and suddenly in the mind we get a glimpse of. Some people have got glimpses of the future. Some people have got glimpses of something else, or sometimes some people get what we call intuition. One resident had shared her experience when we were discussing about the possibilities of things beyond the mind. She said, I suddenly felt from somewhere a voice coming to me and telling me do this particular test, because all the seniors and all the doctors were trying to do diagnosis. They were not able to identify the next course of action. And she got this sudden thought to do that test, though there is no lakshana or no indication to do that particular test. So what she said, I didn't want to go directly to my senior and get scoldings. I went to the technician. I said, please do this. It's on me. Do it. And that turned out to be very important. It was pivotal because the diagnosis immediately, the test gave a result that yes, it has been confirmed. He said, by logic, I would never have done this. By logic, I would never have done this. But because this was done, immediately this was understood. It was something which was beyond the mind, what we call intuition. Sometimes people get it. Some people get what we call clairvoyance. Not just glimpses. They get the full picture. I know one person who has told me this is a curse I have got in life. Because that person has seen certain things and he's even seen death, and that person was saying, what is it? But now if you look at it, these are all not mental perceptions. These are not creations of mind. These are creations of something which is higher than the mind. Sri Aurobindo talked about layers of consciousness. Well, something there was called mind. There was something called illumined mind. There's something called higher mind. There's something called over mind. There's another state of called super mind. Sonia wants to share something? Yes, please.
We all of us see dreams.
Yeah, okay.
And they are beyond our conscious mind and intellect and all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, a nice dreams are also very interesting phenomenon. If you become conscious of your dreams, there is another beautiful awakening. Mandukya Upanishad talks about it. There is Jagruti, there is Sushupti, there is a state called Turiya, so many other things. So right now he says, no boss, don't use your mind to understand the Atman. Arjuna, you cannot understand the self just by the mind. About the self, it is thus perceived. Perceived by who? Perceived by our ancient Vedantic rishis. Those seers, they got the Sakshatkar. Sometimes, no, I mean, if you don't get the understanding, it's okay. If somebody you trust has got the understanding, you will believe it, isn't it? Maybe I don't know that Shimla requires cold clothes, but somebody I know whom I rely very, very much whenever I take a journey, I just say I'm going to Shimla. That person says, you need cold clothes. That becomes my borrowed understanding, isn't it? That becomes because this source is a trusted source. So Krishna is saying trusted sources of our great rishis. What were these rishis aspiring? Did they have something, want materially something in return? They wrote for the world. Do we hear copyrights? Copyright Angiras, copyright Bharadwaj, copyright Atri. Nobody. There's no, you are using my terms. They did not care. They did not care. Most of them did not even leave their names. We don't even know they are concerned with the truth in the words, and the words truth have survived not for 10 days, 20 days, not for 10 years or 20 years, for several thousands of years, because it is a lived experience. And Krishna is now saying, he's not saying I, Krishna, say so. He's saying, Krishna is saying, the ancient ones, the wise ones have understood and said, self is like this. You have to understand beyond the mind. Then he says, if you understand, if you believe this also, if you believe these people, and if you believe all of these great rishis, if you have Shraddha in their words, then you will see how silly it is that you are worrying about such a small thing. What exam in life can be so difficult? What challenge can be so difficult? When you understand that you are an inheritor of that consciousness, you are something else, not beyond this petty circles of small things, something higher. If you are able to understand, you will not be so. Means he's saying it is pointless for you to lament or grieve. Maybe Krishna saw Arjuna rolling his eyes, because he immediately next shloka he says, "Acha, even if you don't believe, I'll tell you." Next shloka, let us see the 26th shloka. Again, one more thing is, do we see Krishna ordering Arjuna? I have such a high intellect. I'm so senior. I have done so much sadhana. So you must listen to what I'm saying. Nothing like that, isn't it? He's having a dialogue. That means we should also not. I have read the Gita, so I tell you this is the truth. The Krishna is the speaker of the Gita, and he is not telling Gita is saying like this or like that. We should not become self-appointed Gita gurus for the world. Somebody wants to hear, somebody asks, we can tell them. Otherwise, no need to, because most of the people run away from the Gita because of this reason. They think people are now forcing. That's all. No, I don't want to read this book. I remember when I was in college. I don't know, I used to close my ears. I don't have time. I don't want to listen right now. My mother took me to some person, that person gave me, read this book. First day of college, I lost it. And then I was very afraid of going in front of that person, that senior sadhak from the ashram, because they'll ask me questions, what is there in the Gita? So what I want to say is, let us all follow Krishna so perfectly. Look at Krishna himself. He's saying, see, wise people have said like this. So at least for that reason, dear Arjuna, why are you feeling so sad over what is happening around you right now? And then comes the next part. He says, even if you don't believe the wise people, you are not doing papa. Let us see the next one. What is he saying? Next shloka. He says, Atha chainam nitya jatam nityam va manyase mrutam tathapi tvam mahabaho naivam shochitum arhasi. Like parents say, na, bade bacche rote nahi hai. He's like that. He's giving reasons. Don't cry. Don't feel sad about this. He says, okay, if you think the self is subject to birth, or if you think that the self is subject to death, either way, Oh, mighty armed warrior, it is not right for you to grieve in this manner. He says, okay, assume that assume that this self inside of you is going to perish just like that. A flame is going to go off, and there's nothing after that. It's becoming nothingness only. Even if that is the case, right now life is there. No, in this life, why are you grieving? It is, even if he says you are a Mahabaho, the one with strong shoulders, not the one with drooping shoulders who's crying all the time. Krishna is saying, Na shochitum arhasi. This does not suit you. Because warriors are known for what? Fighting, no? He's trying to remind him, you don't have to. Even if you think the self is not there, no probs, he says. All right. But don't lose control over your emotions. I remember when I first met my Guru Dhamliji, I had asked a simple question. I was very, very disturbed about some children in Africa I had read about, and I was feeling so sad. I decided I will not celebrate my birthday this year because how can I eat cake when these people are eating mud only? They are not having basic food. And I said, I really feel so sad. I cry and all. He just asked me one question: can a crying person wipe another person's tears? No, that was such a profound question for me. And I was like, oh, yeah, what can I do? I can also maybe join and cry with the person who's crying. Nothing else, isn't it? Nothing constructive can be done like that. So Krishna says, forget it. Even if you think the self is not there inside of you also, still it is not right for you. This is not the right behavior of a Kshatriya. That is the point Krishna is saying. He goes on further though, but he is not keeping in the dark. He is saying that this is a truth. This is a truth. The Atman is a truth. Even if you don't believe, does not mean it will not exist. Next shloka, he tells very perfectly. Jatasya hi dhrubor mrutyur dhruvam janma mrutasya cha tasmadapi riharyarthe na tvam shochitum arhasi. For he who has taken birth, death is certain. And for he who has died, birth is certain. Death or birth is but an inevitable situation. It is not proper to bemoan on any occasion. How true is that? Because somebody who is born will die, isn't it? Can a dead person die? No. Only who is born can die like that. And somebody who dies will be born again because this is the cycle of life. It is like how from even in all creatures, this some kind of code has been inserted. All go through that cycle of birth and death. That is what Krishna is saying here. Who is dead will one day be born again, and who is born will one day die. This is the truth. So why are you crying over this? Many times, because when somebody loses someone, other person cries so much, so much, so much. But in this again in Maharashtra, there is this Manache shlok. मरे एक त्याचा दुजा शोक वाहे अकस्मात तोही पुढे जाता है. Who is crying? The one who is going towards death is only crying. Isn't it? One person dies, for that the beloved cries. But the cry person does not know that that person is also one day going to go to that same jati. Or the greatest Yaksha Prashna was that what is the biggest mystery? Everybody knows that death is going to come, but they all pretend that it is never going to come. Or they think that death will come to everybody else except themselves. Oh, Marega, that person will not be. I won't think about it. It is like that, and says whatever may be the reason, don't get so emotional. That's why many times, especially in Sri Aurobindo Ashram, after the death is done, people just observe quiet silence. Quiet silence means one person's son passed away in a car accident, which was very brutal. The body was kept there, and the mother was just silent, quiet. One more person I know in the family came, offered the prayers, and then went ahead with the duties of the day. How can anybody do that? And all the people who came there, they came, consoled. Everybody was equally shocked. But the Agarbatti was there. There was some meditation music going on. All were coming, quietly sitting, somewhere meditating for a while, and then going away. What is that? That is one kind of understanding, isn't it? It is not heartlessness or nobody is caring for anybody. But they're understanding this is a part of life. Nothing can change that, isn't it? Somebody who has gone has gone. But understand somebody who has gone will also come back again. This is the aspect of Punarapi Janma, Punarapi Marana, that cycle of life which is taking place since ancient times. Let us continue. Avyakta bhutani vyakta madhyani bharata avyakta nidhananyeva tatraka paridevana. The beginning before birth is unknown. The middle lifespan of birth alone is known. What happens after death is also unknown. Hence, O Arjuna, what causes you to mourn? Anybody knows what happened before birth? No. What is going to happen after death? No. What do you know? We know only up to what has happened now. I can remember from my maybe age 4 or 5, but some people can remember from age 3 also perfectly. All memories are intact. But do I know what is going to happen tomorrow? Can I give anybody guarantee in writing? Yeah, I will be 100% alive tomorrow. I want to live 100 years. Upanishad is also telling, live full. Kurvan nevehe karmani jiji visheshatam samar. Aspire to live a full 100 years for the divine. Do the work for the divine for 100 years. But can I take a guarantee? Because this is bhuloka. This is also unexpected. What has to happen? God only knows what is going to happen. I cannot predict what will happen tomorrow. So I know how much. Do I know at least 2/3 of a thing of life? If there are 3 parts of life, one is before birth, one is life, and one is death. Do I know at least 2/3? No. I don't even know 1/3 because I know life only up to the point I have lived. Many people will say, Bhagwan, mujhe le lo, bas ho gaya, bahut ho gaya. That person will live for like 3 more decades.
300 years.
Okay, 300 years. That is difficult. But nobody knows this. Nobody knows this. So when you don't know, how can a cousin was there? No matter what question was asked after the exam, how much marks? I'll get full marks. That person used to say. Marks would come out, we will know the truth. But it is like that. No, Arjuna, you don't know most of the things. How are you certain about Naraka Loka? Because Arjuna was saying, no, this will happen in Naraka. Varana Sankara will take place. I got WhatsApp message from Pitar Loka also that my Pitar have suddenly lost their status. I mean, he has no connection with anything. He is not conscious. How can he be so sure is the biggest question that Krishna is asking. You know only this much span. Then why are you crying when you don't know anything? A small portion is fine. The beginning before birth is unknown. Middle lifespan alone is of birth alone is known. What happens after death is also unknown. Oh Arjuna, what causes you to mourn? Then he goes on, how? So that is why this concept of self must be meditated upon some time or the other, because many times in life we are too busy. Even to read Gita, sometimes we are too busy. When we are young, like I used to say, I don't want to read Gita. I am too busy. I have class, I have other program, I have this training and everything. I'm going. So when you are too young, you say you are too young to read. Then when you are correctly, maybe you've crossed your teens and no, now I have career. I want to set up my career. Then a person gets married. No, now I have got married life to take care. So now I'm not. The one who is married and now I have children to raise. Then after the children have raised, no, now I'm retired. Not retirement. Why should I read? Like that, there's no early time, there is no late time, but we must focus on this principle, the principle of the Atman. It is there. But what happens when the Atman is introduced? Everybody reacts differently when they understand about the Atman. That is told in the next shloka of the Gita, the 29th shloka. Krishna says, Ascharyavat pashyati kaschadenam, Ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanyah. आश्चर्यवच्चैन्मन्यः शृणोति श्रुत्वैप्येनं वेदनैचैव कश्चित्. Some people see the self as surreal. When somebody just sees the self and understands, oh wow, maybe they may get an actual experience by Drushti itself. If you see, Ramana Maharshi had watched his own life go through, isn't it? It's the Sharira burning is an experience he got, one Anubhuti. And immediately he got that realization. There are other yogis who get different realizations, something like that. some people understand ki yes, there is this self, there is the Atman. They get that understanding from an anubhuti. Some sakshatkar comes to this person. So that is one type. So one type of observation of the self. Some people see the self as surreal and they see the ashcharya and they say, wow. Tukaram had very nicely, Sant Tukaram had said, Maje marna paile mya dora. Kaya varnu sora anupam. I saw death, my death I saw with my own eyes. What can I say of that divine celebration, celestial event he is saying? I mean, how will anybody call it a celestial event? Well, if you see the charitra of him, his life, he got a chance to go in a Vimana. I think we have in our group Raghaviji, whose mother Kamala Maji shared about her grandmother seeing a Vimana before leaving her body. So that anubhuti, some sakshatkar comes to some people. So they understand ki yes, Atman is there. Say, wow, what a beautiful truth. But then there are some others. Well, some call it surreal and acknowledge. Means one is a pratyaksha pramana, direct realization. Then another is we can call anumana, by inference. Like some sibling may have a very beautiful and pure relationship with another sibling, and they say this is an eternal relationship. Time may go, but this relationship will not break. Maitri will be always there. This will be an example, or love will remain. Some kind of understanding, and they'll say, yes, this is it. By the understanding, maybe not directly vision, not direct vision, but by anumana, they understand. So what do they say? Acha, from these factors, I can say there is a self, because that's a tip. Different people have different perceptions and ways of perception. So some people, they call it surreal. Yes, I agree, there is the self. I agree that there is a self, which is great. Some others hear about the self as surreal. Means what we can say, Shabda. They hear about it. When my mother says, I am your mom, I say, birth certificate, DNA test kar lenge, check karne ke liye. Do I say that? I'll get a slap if I ask. That's a different story. But this is the Shabda. Shabda is a reliable source. I've heard from this reliable source. This source cannot lie. This source cannot lie. That is why Gita is also called a Shabda Pramana, because the source of the Gita is Krishna. Krishna's words are Shabda, not Duryodhana's, not Arjuna's. So, Shabda, some people hear, Acha, I don't believe, but that uncle of mine who is so trustworthy, I respect that person, that uncle or that aunt, very spiritual person. This person has always lived life like this. That person will not lie. If this person says, I don't need any other verification. So, some people hear about the self from such sources. Then there are other people also. They hear from this ear and it goes out of the other ear. They hear about the Atman. Acha, I forgot. Leave it. Who knows what is going to. Runam kratva gratam pivet. What is there? Who knows what is going to happen afterwards? So incur all the debts in this birth. Enjoy. It's like borrow money and drink ghee. Runam kratva gratam pivet. The question is, if anybody studies accountancy or understands, even if that person is not paying the bills, next generation has to pay or not, isn't it? Same way somebody says, I don't have any next generation and I destroy a lot of things because I want to enjoy and I want to destroy my ecosystem. Even if this person goes away, this ecosystem is going to be inherited by somebody else, isn't it? All the trees are cut that future generations will get that experience, isn't it? They have to inherit. So, but there are some people also, they hear about the concept of the Atman, it falls on one ear, goes out of the other ear. It makes no difference even after hearing. These are the four types of people who react to what the Atman is. Krishna goes on further. Dehi nityam avadhyoyam dehe sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani na tvam shochitum arhasi. Seated within the bodies of every being physical. Oh Arjuna, the self is invincible and eternal. And thus, for the sake of every individual being, it is improper and incorrect for you to be grieving. He's saying, see, inside every physical body, that means, is he including Duryodhana? Or he's saying, no, Duryodhana did not respect me, so there is no Atman inside. Some religion groups are like that, no? You don't acknowledge this a person as God, that then God gets angry and he puts you in hell. Is Krishna saying like that? That
No.
he's talking about everybody. In the Pandavas and in the Kauravas too. That divine is there, he's saying. How is that self? The Kauravas might die, but not the self of the self inside of the Kauravas. Probably that is why so many Kauravan traits still continue, is it? We don't know. But that self here is the Atman we are talking about. The Atman is there inside all, good and bad also. We will see later. How is it? How does it make a difference? Arjuna will have questions. We will get much more detailed answers from Krishna when Arjuna asks those questions. As of now, he is saying, Krishna is saying, see, so many people are there, everybody is having soul. So it is pointless for you to cry for everybody. Because who is Krishna? Who Arjuna? Can somebody tell me Arjuna is crying for whom right now in the first adhyay? Any one person?
He's crying for all his
Family
Everybody.
members,
Not just family members. He is crying for family
relatives, and
members,
all
relatives,
of them.
elders, for society, for future generations, for people who are not born. For them also, he is crying right now.
even also for their ancestors in
Yeah,
Pitraloka.
yeah, exactly. He's crying for every single body he can think of. Something he should at least understand something is wrong with me right now, but he doesn't. That is the beauty. When we get into sorrows, there is a beautiful Sanskrit say, "Ano bhadraha kritavanto," means from let all good thoughts let them come from all directions. But when we are emotionally disturbed, no, we are telling abhadraha, we are calling all wrong thoughts come inside of us. In that time, we get carried away. So that is why we should turn to the higher teachings of the Gita for that reason at least. Let me learn to throw away bad thoughts out of my head. And Gita will itself do that work, like it did for Arjuna. Because it's not right for you to cry for every single person. He goes on further. He says, Swadharmamapi chaveksha navikampitum arhasi dharmyadhi yuddhat shreyonyat kshatriyasya na vidyate. He says, Kshatriyasya na vidyate. This is not the Kshatriya. A lawyer should do a lawyer's work, isn't it? Or should lawyer go and do surgery? No, it's pointless. Each person has their swadharma. The swadharma should be followed. And that is exactly what Krishna is saying. You are a warrior. What should you do right now? You should uphold your duty. He says, your dharma or moral duty you must consider. And from it, you most definitely mustn't falter. For the warriors who, to uphold the truth, fight, nothing is most appropriate but to defend the right. Means this is the dharma, moral duty. Everybody has a moral duty, whatever role you are in. A friend of mine today, just by what we can say, by just by goodwill, I got a chance to go and speak to some businessman, a businessman who is now retiring and he is doing what we call Vanaprastha Ashram Seva. Though he is not from India, he does not know. He says, I want to share my knowledge. 15 people, some big millionaire, he has done huge investments and in markets and everything, and now he is withdrawn from it and he wanted to share his experience. Businessman who has made money, what will the first thought come? This person will have no ethics, or he might be trying bending so many principles. No, he said all his talks, he talked about ego. It was like, wow, I'm listening to a different version of Gita only coming out from an experienced person. He said service, 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 service. He told 10 times service. After you do 10 times service, then only money will come. Otherwise, the money will come and go away just like that. This is and he says you should money is not important, he's saying. He's saying your principles are so important if you stand by the principle. Otherwise, I have seen, he said, in my long life, I have seen 40 plus years, 47 years of experience. He says, I have seen 2/3 of people go bankrupt. Those who have stood are stood because of their principles, because of their dharma. Though he does not understand the word dharma or anything, he has not read the Gita, he is speaking about some important principle which is very important. Whichever way you are working in, you cannot compromise. I also know of some auditor who said, I want to do some work for an NGO because it will wash away the sins. How is that going to happen? No. If I align with this will at least ensure me that these sins get washed away. Another friend of mine, a very interesting experience to hear to that individual. It will not. No, if you let go of your moral duty, you are losing your own essence, and that is what Krishna is telling to Arjuna. Right now, your moral duty is not to act like a philosopher, but to act and uphold your duties of a Kshatriya as a warrior, he says. Nothing is more important right now. When duty comes, everything else second. Krishna says, I also come second because this duty has been given to you by me. It's okay if you don't remember me, but don't forget your duty which I have given to you. It is so simple as that. But let us see what further goes on. We look at two more shlokas and then we'll pause at the 33rd shloka. Yadruchaya chopapannam swargadaram mapavrutam sukhinaha kshatriyaha partha labhante yuddhamidrusham. But if you when such a bellicose moment abruptly presents of its own accord, it opens the doors of heaven. The warrior, O Arjuna, only joyfully consents, for they consider this chance sacred and God-given. A chance comes no, for a warrior to sacrifice life. Do they think twice? Do they think, no, I am from a senior post, so my life is more important? The leader leads from the front. We have heard how many such Veer Chakras received by so many young and even some old ones also. Great soldiers, and they are all what we can say, Amar, isn't it? Their flame of sacrifice is alive and they are already exalted. Why is that? Well, that is the understanding the Kshatriyas have. They don't hesitate, even if they are just say 19, 20, 21, whatever may be the age. And it's not just in Bharat, it's across the world. The soldier of one story is there of a soldier in a Western country also, where supposedly people think there is no dharma or there are no principles. No, there also. There, this soldier jumped onto a grenade to protect other soldiers. Which one will think like that? But he survived with so many injuries, and then somehow slowly, that survival itself was a big thing. But never was the same person, maybe the young, handsome man, never remained that way handsome, but otherwise the most beautiful personality who is able to think of somebody else before himself. Because that is the way of the soldiers. If you see in the regiments also, when somebody sacrifices, a lot of people will shed tears. But the other colleagues, they say, lucky he was able to go before me. It was my chance to go. He stole my chance. What is that? Well, that is the dharma. There is a story of how a woman lost her third son in a battle. First son also became martyr, second also, and third also. Then the general felt I should go and meet this mother. And when he went there, he thought he'll boost the morale of the mother because he saw a tear flowing through the eye. He said, Mother, don't cry. You are the mother of 3 brave children who have sacrificed. She got angry and shouted at the general, I'm not crying because I lost 3 children. I'm crying because I don't have a 4th child to offer for the motherland. This is the dharma. The mother is also Kshatriya. This is Shatra dharma inside of the mother as well. This is the dharma of a Kshatriya. Krishna is reminding. They look for a chance and they consider this as a chance given by the Deva only. Because this opens the dwara of Swarga according to a Kshatriya. Then he goes on, 33rd shloka. Now he comes to the logic of Arjuna, who was talking about deserting the battlefield. who was talking about glory which he will retain if he became a beggar. Now Krishna is going to puncture his other arguments according to tarka, according to logic. Means you see, first he talked about metaphysical truths which are very difficult to verify. But nevertheless, he felt I have to introduce this. My child must know about this. I have to introduce this to him. And then he says, Acha, theek hai, even if it, because he understands maybe it's going over his head. Sometimes you understand, isn't it, when you're talking to somebody, whether that person is receiving or whether it is going over the head. Something like that, maybe. He immediately asks in a different manner. Then he starts talking about logic. Now he comes to the simple logic one by one. We will look at this. अथ चेत्वम् इमं धर्म्यं संग्रामं न करिष्यसि ततः स्वधर्मं कीर्तिं च हित्वा पापम अवाप्स्यसि. Boss was talking about extra papa getting added one by one, one by one. He says, look which papa is going to come. If you are so worried about what sin I am doing, he says, but if you in this battle for justice do not participate, and from your duties you verily deviate, you will gain no fame for the sin of inaction, but instead bear the consequences of abstention. Inaction also is a sin, isn't it? When you have to do a duty, you're looking elsewhere. No, I did not see it. You saw it and you did not uphold your duty. That is, again, you are no more just because somebody thinks I'll remain neutral. If injustice happens in your apartment system, should you stand up for it or should you not stand up for it? Because it's not happening in your apartment only. In your some other floor it's happening. This is not my floor. Can we allow it or can we ignore it?
We should talk about it.
We should talk about it. We should take steps, isn't it?
Of
Isn't
course,
it? Because
someday it will come to us also.
absolutely, absolutely. This is injustice. The system of injustice, how it stays and
Because
goes everywhere.
if the snake is there, it's not like that it's going to bite them only. Someday it will come to
Yeah,
us
yeah.
only.
Yes, that is also true. And we need not worry even if we are, it is not for self-preservation, also for just upholding what is right, isn't it? Maybe I may not be powerful. I remember being called a terrorist for speaking on for somebody. I had to ultimately leave that apartment system for another reason. But whatever it is, that time when I went, don't you have a job? Why are you worried about speaking about that? There was one single lady and her children. They were being troubled by somebody else. So I felt it was my duty. So I went and took that up. And somebody did not want that topic to be discussed only. And even elders came and gave me a nice scolding. Why are you doing all of this? Don't you have any other job in life? No, I don't like it. This is not right. Then some other people also joined. So it is important, isn't it? Otherwise, what is going to happen? The very principle of justice is going to be lost. We have to stand in that. When we stand for justice, we don't have to worry. Dharmo rakshati rakshita is a very big truth. And many who have upheld their dharma have been protected by their dharma in ways which we can't imagine also. Only those who have upheld can give the experience. But we have the great example of the soldiers who are protecting us. They are protecting this party, whether or not they may agree with us. When they see us, sometimes they may fight with us also because behaviorally they may not be very well trained to talk to civilians. But that doesn't make a difference or does not reduce the fact that they are sacrificing for us, whether or not we like it. It's a simple thing, isn't it? Can I go and read poetry at the border because I'll say, I want a change of heart? Can I give terrorist here? Please take this flower. No, there I have to. Terrorist has to not be given flowers, but the gun, bullet only has to be given. That is the most beautiful poem or the most loving flower that can be offered. For what? For the Rakshana, Rashtra Dharma's Sanrakshana. It is important. And so Krishna tells this. So we stop here. You cannot escape from doing your duty. If somebody is doing wrong, if you just join that coterie and try to just, I didn't do anything. What was Karna's biggest mistake? Many people say Karna did nothing wrong.
He chose the wrong person.
Yeah, he turned a blind eye when wrong things were happening.
Just because of Mitra
Collective karma
Mitra
comes.
Dharma.
Yes, no, collective, even that is wrong Mitra Dharma, no? He
Of
should
course,
have,
of course.
the real Maitri is what? Go to your friend and say
He
you are
should,
doing wrong. If he is doing wrong, even if he says, I'll never talk to you in life again, it's okay. I will not, even if that is the threat you are giving me, I will not fail in my duty as a friend. I have to point out you are going on the wrong path. According to me, it is not correct. I will do my duty. Take whatever you want to take out of it. Because that is the dharma, upholding of dharma. Sometimes you serve a wrong organization. Does that absolve you? No. Even when you are doing donation, we do a verification, isn't it? Which organization we are donating to? Yes or no? Tomorrow, I may have given a donation to an organization and then I learn that this is one of the banned terrorist organizations. When the ED sends a notice to me, can I say, oh, I did not know, and try to escape? No, it's not, because now I'll bear the consequence of funding an organization which is doing wrong. So it is like that, our dharma, no matter where or what, we have to uphold. Just because we might be speaking very eloquently and emotionally, which is sometimes pseudo intellectually, it will not save us. Truth is truth, it has to be upheld. Krishna is trying to tell this to Arjuna. Interesting part is we have not yet understood what Arjuna is thinking. He is silent. Silence can mean he's agreeing, silence can also mean he's disagreeing. We will have to wait for Arjuna to tell. So, with this, we are ready to conclude today's session. If anybody wishes to ask or share something, you're welcome. Otherwise, after which we'll do a short, quick summary. Yes, please. Anybody? If there's no point to be discussed, we can go to the summary. Yes, please. Anyone? Any something you can share what we looked at today?
many times we see uh, around us, small children are reciting nice shlokas. Some children are talking like elders,
Mhm.
and some elders we see the childish behavior. Is that like that their atma is older than those atmans or something?
We recently heard of a very great spiritual motivator who is well known and has millions of followers. His name came out in some files of some scandal for so many years. He's talking very well, but so we don't know just by seeing somebody talk. It is better to understand by the actions. If children are chanting, it's very nice. But the children who are chanting,
If
sure, it is better if they understand also and if they live that also. If an elder is behaving like a small child, it is again pointless, isn't it?
so, my question is, are they carrying their purva janma sanskara or something? Maybe.
Yeah, everybody is carrying their purva janma sanskaras, and some of them are able to. We will come across that also later in the Gita. Like one mother shared her experience of a child reciting a mantra which the child never heard when she took the child to a temple. Just a very small child, say 3 years or 4 years. Suddenly, the child was behaving very excitedly and saying something which is crazy for her. She said, "I don't know. I've never." And after that, the child never uttered it again. Also, maybe it was from somewhere. We do not know. Sometimes we see very young children in reality programs singing such beautiful melodies which talk about heartbreaks. Child has not gone through puberty also and is now talking of a song which is about a lover whose beloved has not spoken for several years. This child has not lived for that many years. And yet, then the judges also sometimes say, oh, this person is a Gandharva reborn. So yeah, we are all carrying sanskaras in different degrees. When we become conscious, it's a different thing. The Upanishads talk about becoming conscious of them as well for us, for ourselves. As far as from seeing, because sometimes nowadays a lot of children are thrust into the limelight very early. It sometimes becomes a double-edged sword. The children begin to think that they have understood without really understanding. We have to be careful about that.
Just
As if
copying or something.
maybe they might have something from the. It's like you've got a good credit balance, you would want to increase on it, no, rather than spend it up immediately. So that is something we should try to acknowledge, we should appreciate, but always with a pinch of salt and little bit care. Yes. So anybody would like to summarize what we covered today so we can close today's session? Yes, sir. Pankaj, yes, sir.
Hello. Uh, Actually, I could not get the whole lecture today. I'm traveling.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
at the airport, honestly. But
Okay, sir.
it's about you. मुझे आप थोड़े से थके हुए लग रहे हैं चेहरे से.
अभी I came back from the factory, तो traveling हुआ थोड़ा. That's all, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll try to catch up. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yes, sir. Yes, if anybody would like to summarize.
Today we learn about Atma,
Ji.
which is not destroyable, not inflammable, or nothing can be done with Atma. Krishna shows the qualities of Atmans and asks Arjun not to choke about this, which was never, you don't know before it born and after its destruction
About a human being, means about life.
of a human being, about life, not about Atman. So Atma is always there.
Yeah. Means it is like he's saying in this particular point, it is like sometimes a 8-year-old says, in 8th standard, children have said, I don't have girlfriend, so my life is gone waste. We got this feedback from a child in class 8. What has the child seen life that he is declaring life is gone waste? So like that, Krishna is saying, you have not seen what happened before birth. You don't know what's happening after death. So why are you suddenly proclaiming that you know everything and feeling depressed? Understand you don't know. That is, yes, Ji. Please continue, Ji, Gayatri. Yes, please. Oh, you are muted. I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
That's all. Then in last shloka, Arjun, before Arjun was talking about pap and everything. So in the last, we learned the shloka, and that Krishna says, what will make you sinner? If you will not follow your swadharma, that will make you sinner.
Yes.
If you will
yes.
not fight, you will become a sinner, not by killing your relatives or anybody else.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So this, we must never escape from our duties just because we think sometimes people don't like to speak. You go and speak, or I will not speak at all. They say if something is wrong, you should do that. You should not worry about what will that person think of me.
At least should try.
Yeah, we should try. Our duty is trying. Kartavya karma. Sri Aurobindo had sent somebody to the Crips mission. When the Crips mission was had come to India, that time he gave a particular suggestion. He asked somebody from Pondicherry to go and give the advice. But that advice was not taken. So immediately some of the close inner circle of Sri Aurobindo Shishyas, no, they had a lot of freedom to even question their guru and ask. I said, did you know it was going to get rejected? He said he had indicated that he had an indication that it would get rejected. Immediately, then why did you send? Aurobindo just said kartavya karma. So we have to do our duty. Never should we escape from it. So yes, see.
Can you suggest any book regarding to Sri Aurobindo? I want when you
one very nice book I can tell you to read, which was very useful for me. My connection with Sri Aurobindo started because my Guruji had given this book to me first to read. Correspondence with Sri Aurobindo by Dr. Nirodharan.
Nirodharan.
These are letters of one Shishya to a master. So many years ago, you will see such a modern dialogue. And in that, there's also some humor, which is rarely seen. Sri Aurobindo was called the unsmiling saint by some people because they felt he would never smile. But in that correspondence, such a great humor was there that Sri Aurobindo's spiritual collaborator, the mother who had come from France, she also was so surprised. This particular side of Sri Aurobindo, she had also not really seen, because this was one very lucky Shishya who got a chance. So, because he was also he was a doctor taking treating the sadhaks. So
Okay.
Sri Aurobindo personally wanted to be involved in treatment, so he would write letters, and he got a great chance for a very prolonged correspondence. And the very interesting fact was he was very young. He left his beautiful big degree in the UK to come to this ashram, and that is where he started. So it's a nice book. You can just try searching. Online PDF will be freely available in the Sri Aurobindo Ashram website. For
Can
me,
you
it was the
say
first
the name?
introduction. Correspondence with Sri Aurobindo
Correspondence with Sri Aurobindo.
by Dr. Nirod Baran.
Nirod Baran.
Or just by Nirod Baran. He does not call himself doctor.
Yeah, I got that.
You can get it. The PDF will be available.
Actually, I have joined a library here in Ahmedabad. MJ Library is a heritage library, but
Okay.
there are a lot of books are there. I started reading about Swami Vivekananda, but first author I got just bored that I don't want to read this book. Some authors I like that, not all,
Okay.
but the way they write. So I asked for
Yes.
suggestion.
Yes. Ji. Maybe for me it was something I liked a lot. Yes. Ji. All right. Ji. We conclude with the Shanti mantra. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve bhadrani pashyanto. Ma kasyit dukha bhag bhavet. Hari Om Tat Sat. Krishna Mande Jagatpuram. Yes, yes, that's the one. If you
Dhanyavad.
wish to, you
Thank
can
you.
share the link in the group. Yes, thank you.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, we will
Hari
have our
Om.
next
Thank you,
session next week.
Sushruji.
Next week now.
Hari Om.
Saturday, Sunday is off. Yes, ji. Hari Om.
Saturday, Sundays there is no lectures. Okay.
Yes, ji. Namaskar.
Monday
Monday.
same time.
Yes, ji, same time. Namaskar.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari
Dhanyavad.
Om.
Dhanyavad. Hari
Dhanyavad
Om.
ji. Namaskar.